Welcome to the Your Local Studio podcast, the resource for business leaders and entrepreneurs providing advice on marketing, lead generation, and online video.
Hey there, I'm Alex with Your Local Studio. Thanks for joining our podcast today on the topic of online lead generation. Since all we focus on is video, we reached out to 4 really smart web marketing consultants, 2 in Raleigh-Durham and 2 in Charlotte. And we asked them each 3 questions. And then we took all their answers and edited together for your viewing and listening pleasure, which we're going to show to you right now. The first question that we asked them was, what's the biggest issue or challenge you see that businesses are making today to generate leads online?
The biggest challenge, I think, and I think it's a misconception rather than a challenge, okay? Because once you start building leads, there's then real challenges. But the biggest misconception, I think, is that people think you can do it for free. They actually believe, and they have the preconceived notion that when I'm on Facebook or I'm on Twitter or I'm on LinkedIn or I'm on my website, that somehow or another that is lead generation, and it's not. It's content marketing, maybe. It's relationships. It's branding. It's outreach. It's visibility. It's distribution. But what it isn't is lead generation. So the thing is and I say the misconception to think it's free. Nobody pre-internet thought lead generation was going to cost you nothing. So this is a phenomenon that's only for new businesses that are internet-based businesses. If anybody could see what it used to cost pre-internet to have to run a classified ad, to have to advertise in newspapers, to actually advertise to do leads, they'd understand that we've been given through the internet, through the LinkedIns and the Facebooks and the AdWords, we've been given the best ways to do lead generation, but we have to do it strategically, tactically, and we have to pay in most cases. I do believe that Facebook is an advertising network disguised or pretending to be a social network. In its social network, we click on pretty kitties, we tell somebody congratulations for their wedding or having a baby, we say happy birthday to people, but none of those things are lead generation, okay? And then when we look at Facebook pages, those aren't lead generation because we lose too many people. Facebook wants us to advertise. They're in the advertising business. And so when we start looking at lead generation and that we're going to pay, and the coolest thing, Alex, is we get an opportunity to fail fast. When we pay for advertising and we can burrow down into all that information people have given Facebook, for instance, and we can burrow down to just people in our neighborhoods or just people in these zip codes or just people that are married or just people that are single or just people that are this age or not age. If we can burrow down to that and do small budget to them, let's say $5 a day, we're trying to do some lead generation by presenting them something of value, then we can find out if it works or not. If it works, we pay more, we spend a little bit more, invest a little bit more. If it doesn't work, we retune that a little bit. We get to know our customers. So that's the first thing. People thinking they're going to do it for free.
So the biggest issue that I see is businesses just aren't doing a really effective job of managing the leads that they're already getting through their website. And not necessarily any fault of their own. Everybody's busy. Everybody has a lot to do running the day-to-day operations of their business. But a lot of businesses today are spending more money than they were last year and the year before in generating leads online, but they haven't necessarily put good processes in place to follow up with the leads that are actually coming through their website. So businesses are losing leads and losing revenue every single day because they don't have that tight process in place to make sure that they're capturing every lead that they're already getting through their site.
Okay, the biggest issue I see with businesses, especially small businesses, is they're having the trouble understanding the importance of capturing an email or capturing something other than a direct sales lead. And it's very hard to go from a outbound sales marketing focus to more of an inbound education first website digital strategy. So really pushing your resources and your free education on your customers to capture that email is really important and could be more beneficial than just the direct sale.
So the biggest challenges, I think, in general, are finding the correct target at the right time. So one of the things that we're finding really clearly that is interesting is that Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, all of those major players, Yahoo and Microsoft, all those players are offering up an opportunity for you to get the word out and get leads and generate, sort of that inflow of traffic. But the problem is when those are actually happening and how you can control when those ads are being delivered or that organic traffic is being delivered is really the challenge. What we've done is we've worked really diligently on the schedule with our clients of when and where to post their marketing. And we're actually working with a few clients right now on how to actually pick the days of the week where the traffic will be good for them. And then we're going in and actually setting schedules up so that, if a client knows that they don't get a lot of traffic on a Wednesday, we just aren't running ads on Wednesday for them. Really, the only way you can address it is to think through the process of when are people looking at what they're looking for from companies, and if companies can deliver that, then that's great.
Our second question is, if you could make just one recommendation for business leaders and entrepreneurs to improve their lead generation process, what would it be?
If I could make one recommendation to any business, whether they're new, wherever they are, is reconnect to your past customers and clients. Reconnect to them. These people voted for you with their dollars. They've done business with you. They know the quality of work. You already sold them. They have a network. So work through people that you've already worked through's network. It's called networking, the network word being in there. And so the thing is I find that a lot of folks are trying to find new businesses because we can get people to follow us on Twitter and because we can get people to like us on Facebook and because people will connect to us on LinkedIn. We actually believe that activity is results, that just doing active things is actually accomplishing something. And then you ask them a question, their business is down, they're not getting referrals, those things. You ask them a question, you say, when was the last time you connected with your past customers, found out where they were, why did they do business with you in the first place? And so if you and you find out they're not doing that at all. They're trying to do they're hunting and gathering rather than ranching and farming. And so ranch and farm don't hunt and gather, although all the neat shiny objects out there that is social network kind of tells us to hunt and gather. And there's just something greener on the other side of this hill. Oh, Facebook didn't work for me, so let me start tweeting things out. And that didn't work, so let me do this Instagram thing, and I got to make sure I have a profile over there. When, in fact, we have customers that we've already done things. So let's say you don't have any customers. Well, then find one, deliver the heck out of your service or product to them, ask them right up front for some referrals, and then deliver again. That'll be 2, and that'll be 3, etc.
It is so important to have a system in place that you can duplicate over and over again when new leads contact you through your website. So there's really 2 types of leads out there. There's the leads who are ready to buy right now, and then there's people who are in the process of doing research, and it may be a couple of days to a couple of years until they're ready to make their decision. So with the leads who are ready to buy right now, the most important thing to do is just answer your phone and call them back within an hour if you don't get them the first time. Now for the leads with the longer term buying process, you need to have a system in place to follow up with them depending on how long that buying cycle is in your industry. So for a shorter term buying cycle, like say an emergency plumber or maybe disaster response if your house is flooded or something, typically people are going to make a decision within a day. They don't want to wait any longer than that to get that problem fixed, because it's a pretty nasty problem to deal with either way. So the best thing you could do as a local business there is, I would say, call somebody back. If you get somebody on the phone who's price shopping and says, I want to talk to a couple of other contractors and I'll call you back, give them a call back within an hour or 2 if you haven't heard from them. Because if they're still in that decision-making process and if they're still price shopping and you're the one contractor who calls them back, they're going to be more likely to pick you. At least I know I would if I was in that situation. Now, if you're in a business with a longer buying cycle, like say, for instance, real estate, or maybe you're a car dealership, or you do an elective surgery like bariatric surgery, that buying process can last anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of years. So you have to really think about how that research process is going to work in your industry and then formulate a plan to stay in front of your prospects and add value to them while they're doing their online research after you've spoken with them the first time.
I would recommend to not think that just because everyone's so digital these days that you have to dump everything into digital, and just because you maybe have had everything working in non-digital stuff to keep everything there. Make sure that you are using a good mix of everything and to stay personal with your customer too. Sometimes we are so digital and social that we forget to go out and meet our customer face to face. So
So obviously the biggest thing is to understand the target. The biggest challenge in any marketing situation is that people think they understand who their target is, but they don't necessarily understand who the target actually is. So one way to approach that is to do some real soul searching and really do some analytics that give you the actual answers back. So I'll give you an example. If you're selling business to business, let's say you're selling ultrasound equipment. Ultrasound equipment has a lot of different targets. It could be hospital networks at a very high level where there's just buying agents that do the buying. It could be small practices and they still have an office manager who's doing most of the purchasing. Or it could be an actual practice owner who is a doctor. And so if you look at all of those different things, one of the opportunities that you have with those is to customize your messaging specifically for those different types of people and then do a better job at targeting those people with the proper message. Because the proper message for the doctor that runs one practice versus the message that you're sending to a hospital network where they have a buyer's agent, the messaging is completely different. Even though you're selling the same exact product, the messaging is very different. So the way that I would say that people should start looking at who they're marketing to is create people. Create an actual profile of a person. Once you've got that profile built, then build your messaging around it so that it talks specifically and speaks right to that person versus coming up with what your messaging should be and then trying to target the people that you're getting out to.
Our third question is, who have you seen that you admire and how they generate leads online?
I love this guy, John Ferrara. He actually was one of the first guys to create what's a CRM, a customer relationship management program. It was called Goldmine. It was back. I think he had it on DOS. I knew he had it on Windows, and so it was one of those things to actually do what I'm saying: relationship marketing. Meet people, deliver your product, those kind of things. So John Ferrero does that, and the cool thing about it is his product is a SaaS, a software service, online service. It's called Nimble. Highly recommend Nimble to anybody that will listen to me for a couple of minutes. So highly recommend Nimble because it actually allows you to have promptings, to do relationship stuff, to touch people, to not just have a database of customers and they're a deal, but have a relationship, have a database of people, hot, warm, cold, that you can interact with and do things. So go to nimble.com and do that. But the cool thing about what John does is he does content marketing. He relationship markets out to people. He's got this service that's 100% online, and he does a whole bunch of offline stuff. He does a whole bunch of connecting with people. He does a whole bunch of videos. He does hangouts. He interviews other people. He's a guy that's transparent with all of his, if you go to his Nimble, his Facebook or his Twitter or whatever. So you're going to see people, the folks that are getting this and actually understand that no matter the paradigm change, that we're all online, the folks that actually get it and are doing it the best are the folks that actually have mostly online businesses because they're finding that you can't just put up, it's not the field of dreams. You can't just put up a website and a YouTube channel and whatever the new thing is and expect just because there's a whole bunch of people there that there's a whole bunch of people that care about you or what you do. Nobody really cares. We don't need another attorney. We don't need another video guy. We don't need another social media marketer. We don't need another of anything that anybody that's going to listen to this do. What we do need is another one of you doing it your way with differentiation of somebody I like, and not that just a know, like, and trust, but somebody that I actually sees what I do, sees more value in me than a prospect.
So I'm going to give a shout out here to an agency partner of mine who I've actually been doing more business with lately, and I just think she's awesome. So Wendy Coulter of Hummingbird Creative Group, she's been in business, I think it's over 25 years now that her agency has been around, and they're a full-service branding and marketing agency out of Cary. And so she talked with me recently about the evolution of reaching out to clients and prospects throughout her business, just as, you know, as marketing has changed over the years. So in the old days, any business who's been around for 10 plus years knows it used to be the yellow pages. That was really the only place you needed to be, right? Which today is comical, but that's how it was back in the day. But with more and more prospects doing all of their research online, you have to really meet your customer where they are. So she's evolved her process of branding and lead generation to meet these customers online and to provide value to them online. So she's doing these cool little 30-second marketing tip videos that she sends out every Monday. And I think they're awesome, and it's a great way of staying in front of leads, providing value, positioning herself as an authoritative subject matter expert in her industry. And it's funny because I had a conversation with her the other day about these, and she feels like the information that she's giving is so basic. To her, it's all a no-brainer. But to anybody who's not running a marketing agency, it's the kind of stuff that you think, that really makes sense. I'm going to incorporate that into my business. And so all of your listeners can do the same thing. It really is just a matter of thinking about how can I help my customer, even if it's something that seems obvious to me. It's probably not something that's on their mind all the time. And then take that content and package it in the form of quick videos, little blurbs, quick little blog posts that you can send out and just give value. So I think she's a great example of that.
One is a national company, really a global company called DocStock. Not a lot of people know. It's a online document sharing company, and their lead generation and go-to-market strategy was very interesting in the way that they used free apps to share as much information as possible and really flood the App Store with really awesome business teaching tools completely free to share their brand. So they really focus on sharing their brand as a resource, and they've blown up because of that. The second one is a more local company. They're down in Atlanta. They're actually a client of mine and a nonprofit who does extremely well matching the right social platform to the right message for them. Not just saying, okay, I need to be on Facebook because everyone is. They are on Facebook, but they matched it to their audience, and they do extremely well there, doing daily postings and really meeting their audience one-to-one on Facebook. So matching the right program to your particular lead generation plan is important.
Well, interestingly, one of the best groups that I have found, and we've actually use them as sort of a litmus test, is if you look at Lowe's Home Improvement, they do a fantastic job of not just marketing, but they do a really great job at retargeting. So if you're actually, let's say that you go on the weekend and you go to the Lowe's Home Improvement website and you're looking at gas grills for the spring, and there's no real reason you're looking. You're not necessarily in the market, but you might be, but you're just kind of looking because maybe you saw one on sale or something. What you'll notice is that for about 2 weeks after that, other sites that you visit, CNN, Spotify, whatever it is that you're on, they do a really great job of retargeting so that on those sites, you get gas grill ads from Lowe's. And we've taken a page out of their book, and we've been doing a lot of retargeting with our clients. And what we're finding is it actually increases our ad click-through rates by 20 to 25% because we know within the past 2 weeks, those people have visited those particular places where our clients have websites. And then as they're surfing around, we'll see that they'll be coming from CNN back or the Yahoo homepage or some of the other pages that are out there. So I would say Lowe's does a really great job. There's a lot of other companies that use retargeting, but I would say they're one of the highest cutting edge category leaders in being specific down to not just that it's a Lowe's ad, but it's specific to what you were looking for at Lowe's, i.e. a gas grill.
For more information on the folks that we chatted with, or for the full-length interviews that we had with them, see our accompanying blog post for this podcast on our website at yourlocalstudio.com.